All right, let's talk about this incredible team, because if ever there was a super team, this new team that you're part of with Brendan Bottcher definitely looks like every single position from bottom at lead to the skipper is unbelievable. How excited are you?
Yeah, even me. Yeah, I mean, there's so many good teams. I think when you see the new teams coming out in positions of, who you think is going to be good on paper and who's not. And, we're not rookies over here. You kind of know, I know, just listen to Catherine there talking about, where Canada is in curling. And I think, Colleen, when you were winning, and Sandra and Jen and Rachel and Kevin Martin and Stoughton and Wayne and Glenn and Brad and Cooey, like, Curling Canada didn't have to make any changes. Why would they make any changes? We're winning. We're dominating. And I think now the last 4, maybe 6 years, I mean, ours in Pyeongchang, I'm not going to throw Curling Canada on their bus. I mean, we were the second best team there, probably behind Nick. We could have beat Nick in the final, but, that was an upset. We didn't go there unprepared. It wasn't because of the trials timing. Right. This year, I think it's safe to say, Brad Gushu's team, I mean, hats off to them. They've had a great year, but they were the third best team there. Nick's team and Mouat's team were probably the 1 and 2 ranked teams. So I think what you see in the world of curling happening now is those European teams, whether it be their programs change to beat us. If you think that my new team of Brendan and Brett and Mark, we're not going to be looking at what Nick's team does and what Mouat's team does to try. Like, we are. We don't have the egos of like, well, we used to be better than them. Well, we're not. So they copied us to get to where they wanted to get to and then elevated it to a next level. And we're going to try to do the same thing. I think you're naive to not look at those teams and see what they're doing to try to benefit. So I'm really pumped with the guys we have, like you say. We've had some really good talks about the things we want to do to get there. And, having talent is one thing. And, hey, I'm grateful to be able to play with, young stallions like Brendan and Brett. They still want this old workhorse on the broom, which I'm excited about. But obviously to have Mark Kennedy, who I'm biased, played with him forever. He's one of my best buds. And I think the best third in our country, we're going to have to work really hard, to beat Nick and to beat Brad Gushu still. And, Cooey and Mouat, like, putting talent together is one thing. I'm super grateful that we have an opportunity because we certainly have the guys that can win.
Benny, in the course of what you were just saying, and Catherine kind of said, oh, now it's all the countries, but it's Sweden, Scotland, and Canada still, isn't it? Even on the women's side, and Switzerland it's still, I mean, I know all the teams are great, but.
Yeah, Switzerland has some good men's, and I mean, Elena Pet's like, just unbelievable. She's the biggest killer of them all, right? So, I mean, and even the depth, though, I mean, the B teams, like you see the young team, like Schuster's still good, that Dropkin's coming up. And there's a couple other teams there that before, their best game, they could never have a chance to beat you. You have a couple in the patch the night before and you just wax them up. You got to pay attention to those games, and you never used to be able to. So even the teams that maybe aren't at that level, you still got to bring a good game or you could find yourself in the loss column. So, yeah, that's what I see on the world stage.
Benny, are there any tangible changes that you would make, though, to the structure of the Brier, the timing of are there anything that you have thought about that you would say, this is what we need to change? I get competition. I get the expectation you're not going to win gold every time. But are there actually things we can be doing in this country that can better prepare our teams?
Yeah, I think the experience of the players, and I think you're going to see the teams that are built. I think a lot of it's on the players too. I certainly think Curling Canada has a lot of smart people there, and they've done a great job for a lot of years. They know it's time to adjust. This isn't a players thing pushing it down the avenue. They need to do it. They know it's time to adjust as well, and we know as players we need to adjust. I think the one key thing for us is once we found out Brett was moving to Alberta with Jocelyn, was to build a local team, to be able to lift weights in the summer together, to be able to do all of our events in the summer, to be able to practice in the winter and not have to fly in BJ and Mark Kennedy go to the Sioux and not have Jeff Walker go to Newfoundland. Like you saw when I curled with Kevin Martin and Mark Kennedy was there and John Morris was here and we were together all the time. And there was a reason a lot of that stuff happened. So yeah, there's things Curling Canada can do certainly. And I think there's a lot on the table that they're going to talk about. I don't want to get into specifics, but I also think it's on the players to take some onus of what we need to do. Like we look at Nick's team and Mouat's team and be like, okay, what do they do? It wasn't by fluke how me and Brendan and Mark and Brett ended up together. We know the teams that we were chasing and the things that we need to do that they do. And being local here, Brett's moving actually to Chestermere where I live. We're going to be able to crank weights together all summer, practice together. And whenever we want to whip up to Red Deer, Edmonton, or they're come down here, We're a 2-hour drive away. And I think
love that. I mean, we've all talked about the import rule, and imports have been the trend for the last 4 years, except maybe for Gushu's team. You know, I know that he's got Jeff not in St. John's, but they were a pretty tight training team together.
Why they were so good. That was huge for them, even to have Brett out there 3 out of 4. And not to say the leads don't matter. You know, I don't think we matter as much, but having your second, third, and skip there to track rocks and practice, I think it's huge. I think it was key to their success.
Yeah. So this team, though, when it was put together, did you kind of feel that? And not that you always seem pretty high energy, but did you feel like this is it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously, you know, I'm super excited. I don't get too excited that much anymore. You know, I'm an old guy. I've won a lot of stuff, but you know, people on the outside you don't get to see. But you know, Brett Gallant, you know, he's one of my best buddies on the tour. We golf together in summer. He comes out here lots and visits Joss. We've developed a really good friendship over the last few years. So I'm keen on him. You know, he's a superstar, so obviously that doesn't hurt. And obviously Mark Kennedy, you know, me and him curled together when I was 22 and he was 23 for 12 years. 12 epic years. You know, I know when we broke, you know, me and him said some stuff to each other because I was sour, he left, and you know, I was being a dick to him, so he said back to me. And I was just choked he went to Jacobs because I knew how good he was, right? I didn't want to get left behind. And so, you know, sometimes you don't know what you have until it's gone. And, you know, I'm very grateful to be able to, you know, start my career with Mark, and, you know, we'll see what happens here, but maybe finish my career with him as well. So he's a superstar. I mean, if you look at the resume of Brendan Bottcher and what he's done the last 5 years as a 25 to 30-year-old, you know, he's coming into the heat of his prime here, 30 to 34. And I think there's a lot of things that, you know, me and Brett and Mark can help Brendan with, but I think there's a lot of stuff we can learn from Brendan. I'm really excited. You know, I think, you know, having to be like just a strict leader on a team and the old guy and here's how to do it and yada, yada, like I'm going to learn a lot of stuff from Brett of what he did with Brad's team to be so successful. You know, I'm not going to really learn anything from Mark because we know the school book we came from. It's the same book. Right. But I'm really interested to learn from Brendan and try to take the best out of all the 4 teams we were on and try to create it into one model. I'm stoked. I'm looking forward to finishing this spiel off next week here with my guys and, you know, give a hug to the Coup Dog. And we had 8 amazing years and Johnny Moe and Beach. But, you know, I am excited to get back into the gym and start working on a target for next year and get rolling here. I'm pretty pumped.
A reflective and fired up Ben Hebert.
Going to a birthday party that's no longer a surprise.
Who has 10 minutes to get ready for the party.
We're laughing. I'm looking good already. We're good to go here.